Why would I do this to myself? Just why? Hello there. Cocktails and Dreams. Or was it just called Cocktails? Yeah, it's called Cocktails.
That's right. I'm about to monologue, son.
I made the mistake of not reading about this movie before watching it. I mean, I've heard references to it before. I've seen images from it before. I heard jokes from it before, but I've never actually watched it. So I was like, you know what? It's Tom Cruise. He learned to mixology for it. He actually learned a lot, spent time in a bar to learn how to do all this stuff. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch it. I sit down and I actually made the mistake of seeing the trailer too beforehand, and I was thinking it was going to be a romance movie, which is why I really hate trailers. I was thinking it was going to be a romance because it's basically the trailer was him talking to a girl apologizing for something, and then it just had clips throughout. Okay. It starts out with him leaving the military, going to Queens, going to his uncle's bar, and then telling his uncle he wants to start something new, become rich and wealthy. And then he's not accepted at any job, and guess what? He goes to work for a bartender. And while he's working for that bartender, 20 minutes go by, 30, something like that. And during that 30-minute, 20-minute, 10-minute span, he's, I think 6-7 months pass. And then he gets in a fight with the bartender because the bartender basically slept with his girl. And it was just like one of those things. It's just like, okay, I'm still. When is the story going to start? Was this a rags to riches story? Is this going to be a romance story? When does he meet the girl of his dreams? When does all this stuff happen? Is he going to start a bar? Why is he going to college? All this stuff was just like, what the heck is going on? And then he ends up going to Jamaica. 2 years pass, and then his bartender comes to see him again. And that's where he finally meets the girl of his dreams, which doesn't last long, and he cheats on her, and it's just like, what the heck? 6 months more pass, and he's with the new rich girl that he met, much older, just because he wanted to get money. And it's just like, what the heck is this movie trying to be? Why? Well, why was this movie even made? I was so confused throughout the entire film. I was just like, do you guys even have a story in mind? I got to admit, though, I do enjoy Tom Cruise. I enjoyed Tom Cruise and the bartender. They seemed to have a repertoire, a nice chemistry that seemed that I enjoyed. But the movie just didn't make enough sense to support it. So it was just like, okay, I like it, but I hate everything else you're doing. You should have just stuck with a relationship between him and his bartender. It would have been, you could have done it like a Clerks 2 or a Clerks type situation, where it's just him and the bartender as they're dealing with a life as a bartender, as he's trying to deal with school, as he's trying to further his education. That would have been funny because he's the idealist and the bartender's more the, what is it? He's not really a realist, but not a pessimist. I don't know. He tended to talk himself up, just talking a ton of BS, and you could tell just by hearing everything he said. But it's just like, okay, that's cool. And then that would have been better. Stick with one thing, but they did too much, and then all of a sudden, as Tom Cruise is still trying to make money, the bartender best friend married a rich girl, and he blows all that money on trying to be a stockbroker, but he didn't know anything about the stock market, so he just lost everything. It's just a ton of stuff that is just like, oh my gosh, what the heck are you trying to be? And of course, his best friend commits suicide, and then Tom Cruise is left crying on his knees to the girl that is supposed to be the love interest. I don't know. I didn't see love. I mean, I did see it when they were first together, but then you don't cheat on that. Even if you're scared, you don't cheat on that. You would feel guilt. It's just like, it made no sense. It made absolutely no sense. And I was just like, okay, this just... And of course, they had to introduce the fact that the love interest, who happened to be a rich girl herself, is pregnant. It's just like, okay, what the heck are you trying to do? I am just confused. There is no emotional connection here. I am just outright confused. So that's how it was for me. I was just like, okay, I like Tom Cruise, but this was a poor movie. The movie just didn't know what it wanted to be. I think that's it. If they would have just focused down on one thing, maybe Tom Cruise wanting to do a rags to riches story where he tries to build his own company, that would make sense. Or a love story where he's going to college, that would make sense because he's trying to handle the college, because that's what I thought it was going to be. Because of the trailer, I thought he was going to meet a girl at college while he was working at the bar, was very stressed and ended up snapping at her, and then he went to the place where she worked to apologize. I thought that's what it was going to be, and then it was going to be a rocky start from there. No, I was completely off the mark because the movie just made no sense to begin with. So, yeah, Tom Cruise. What was the agreement behind this movie? Why did you choose to do this movie? Did you read the script? Did you realize that it was all over the place? Did you think it was a love story? Did you think it was a rags to riches story? I'm curious to know what your thought process behind the script was, because if you read it, you would have a clue that they didn't know exactly what they were doing. There's too many plots going on and too many plot holes in there.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Thank you all for watching. Talk to you next time. Toodles.